It's a new intensity.
These days, people working in funeral homes don't have time to talk. They're overwhelmed with families trying to bury their loved ones in numbers like they've never seen before.
This is our arrangement office, so this is where we'll sit with the family.
But Mike Marchetti with Newcomer Funeral Homes took time to explain the impact this second, deadlier round of COVID-19 is having.
Certainly not on this magnitude where it's affected so many people in so many different ways.
Now, Newcomer has 3 funeral homes in this area, and they tell me before this new wave of COVID, they would see about 4 families a day. Now, they tell me it's more like 8 or more. As a result, sometimes they have to delay funerals because they don't have the staff or vehicles to do them. Sometimes funerals are delayed because the family is sick with COVID.
There are certain situations where, you look at it and say, my goodness, how are these people coping?
We are at capacity to where we've never been before.
At Westside Crematory and Winter Garden, they're also overwhelmed. The area where bodies are stored prior to being cremated is stacked to the ceiling. The staff is working day and night to honor the dead.
You don't want to turn anybody away. These are their loved ones. They're already mourning.
We were there when a funeral home brought a body to be cremated. Sometimes they tell us there's a line 4 vans deep, and there seems to be no end in sight.
We're at the point where we're hoping that the state will step in and supply some refrigeration.
A death care industry struggling to handle the new level of demands, and a community struggling to handle the new levels of grief. In Orange County, Michelle Meredith, West 2 News.
The clip that you just heard was from WFLA in Florida, and it's eerily similar to what happened in New York last year, where they had bodies stacked and bodies in trucks and bodies waiting to be cremated, bodies waiting to be buried, bodies waiting to be serviced. And it's funny how these things run in parallels. And also, as we have recently found out, the same thing happened to Cuomo as far as the undercounting the deaths and undercounting the seriousnesses of the COVID-19 pandemic. As in a previous video I did, I talked about how certain states were actually undercounting the dead, undercounting the hospitalization, and undercounting the cases. And I do believe that's what's going on in Florida. There was a report that I'm not going to include here where Florida had ordered not only extra body bags from the feds, but also respiratory machines, oxygen machines, and also oxygen concentrators, because they were running short in Florida hospitals. And Ron DeSantis said he didn't know anything about it, which I find it hard to believe. But just today, we learned something else about refrigerator trucks, and this is the piece I'm going to read right now. Florida to receive 14 portable morgues as COVID-19 cases soar. 14 portable morgues sent to Florida as COVID-19 cases soar. 14 portable morgues are en route to help the overburdened hospitals in Central Florida amidst the state's massive breakout of COVID-19, a report said. There were more than 1,700 deaths due to coronavirus in the past week in the Sunshine State, according to reports. Wow. Now that I did not know. I didn't know it was that many. In an email obtained by WESH 2 News confirmed that the Central Florida Division of Advent Health has reached the capacity of hospital morgues due to the influx of COVID patients. We believe this backup is due to a throughput slowdown in local funeral homes, which is causing us to hold descendants for a longer period of time, the email said, according to the outlet. Same thing that happened to New York City, back in April of 2020.
Hospital system is sounding the alarm because of an influx of coronavirus patients. Its morgues have hit capacity.
It's a gruesome reminder of the human cost of the pandemic and the weight it's putting on our healthcare systems. West News' Kelsey Thorud has reaction from Orange County leaders.
Advent Health's morgues are full. That, according to this email obtained by WESH, has forced the hospital to rent refrigerator units to store excess bodies. But now those units are filling up too. The cause? Coronavirus.
The number of new cases in Florida are at record numbers. New cases of individuals testing positive, as well as new cases of individuals dying in our state.
Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings told me it's not just the hospitals dealing with this. Local funeral homes are also struggling to find space.
Some of them are reaching a point in terms of their storage before they can cremate bodies. They're at or near some capacity.
We spoke with one of those crematories earlier this week.
We're at the point where we're hoping that the state will step in and supply some refrigeration.
Florida's Division of Emergency Management can do that, but for now it's unclear if or when they will. Mayor Demings told me he's in talks with the county medical examiner to see if some bodies can be stored there, but even that option isn't certain.
Our medical examiner is not only the coroner for Orange County, but also Osceola County.
The mayor says the situation remains fluid, and his team will be spending the coming days trying to figure out a solution.
We'll come up with a plan of action, likely within the next 24 to 48 hours.
Now, Mayor Demings told me at this point he believes that there still is some space available in the county. Really, he says the hospitals are coming out and saying this now to try and prevent a worst-case scenario.
The hospital are unable to request the aid they would typically receive through the Florida Emergency Mortuary Operations Response System, according to an email. Since there is no disaster declaration for the state, we are unable to request assets such as femurs, but they are being contacted for guidance, the email says. The morgues will be distributed among 9 area hospitals, 2 of which, Advent Health and Orlando Health, will receive 3 morgues each. On Friday, Governor Ron DeSantis' ban on mask mandates for students and staff in the public schools was shot down by a judge. And well, somebody's got some sense. Probably let Ron DeSantis off the hook. Leon County Circuit Judge John C. Cooper found that DeSantis' July executive order, which barred schools from forcing students to mask up, is without legal authority. The judge sided with a group of parents who challenged the executive order in a lawsuit following 3 days of video hearings in the case. The ruling came after 10 state school boards, representative half of Florida's 2.8 million public school students, voted to go against DeSantis' order to impose mask mandates. You know what? That is so silly to me. That is so silly to me. You got all this stuff going on. You got portable morgues. You got bodies stacked up at funeral homes, which is, it's funny because you say I saw the same thing in China, where they were ordering like 41,000 caskets a week and urns a week to go to all the incinerators around the cities in China, and they had a backup of bodies too. It's I hate when politics in medical health and people's lives get all mixed up like this, man. To save your political position, you're making it harder for the hospitals and things to do their job. A lot of people said the same thing happens in every pandemic, that the politicians get in the way and they hold up progress. So they had the same squawks against Cuomo back in 2020, but Cuomo made some severe mistakes by sending sick COVID patients into nursing homes, professional nursing homes. And those people came in and spread it to other sick people, and it drove up the death toll. Now, Cuomo got Me Too'd, and that's the reason they said that he quit. But I think the biggest impetus was Cuomo's handling of the COVID thing. In California, the biggest problem in California, the biggest thing for the governor of California, Newsom, is his handling of the COVID thing. And I'm wondering if the same thing is going to happen to DeSantis, because whatever it is, he has something against having an accurate count. Because the lady that did have an accurate count that a lot of people were actually going to, she got arrested. And they tried to force her to tell who was giving her information, which she didn't. But the thing is, and they thought they could get it out of the computers, which it wasn't there. But I hate people's health being used as a political football. I think if you're going to be a governor, you're going to be any kind of politician, you're supposed to do the right thing for all people. And I know the corporations, especially big entertainment corporations, want you to keep a lid on this. But at this point, I don't think you can, because this is just summer. This is not November. This is not peak season. What happens when peak season happens? And you're already, running, 1,600 people dead a week. So what's going to happen within, in a couple of months? And now you're not having people masked up. You're not have people social distancing anymore. You're going back to normal life. And I was told by Rodney that this is a mistake. He told me that 3 months ago, that even with the vaccine, taking the mask mandate off was a mistake. Instead, it's going to drive up cases. And voila, 3 months later, guess what? We're here. And I keep hearing from people in Florida that don't even look at your numbers. You're telling me everything's good in Florida, but all these school districts talking about masking up, and some school districts even shutting down and sending the kids home. You're saying they're doing that for nothing. You're saying all this is fear of nothing. That's what I always hear. You're afraid. You're fear. But I'm saying I'm reading this stuff. I'm reading this stuff all over the country. They're doing the exact same thing. All over the world, they're doing the exact same thing. But I'm nuts because I'm afraid of nothing. I don't know. Some of these cats, man, I don't know what you guys are taking. I don't know what you guys are smoking, but it must be profitable. Because, I'm getting from these people, man, everybody's crazy except you. And all this news, all these people are all these paid actors, all these artificial intelligence stand-ins, and behind the curtain is the Wizard of Oz pulling levers. This is not even peak season, and already Florida's breaking records. Most of the South is breaking records, from last year for COVID and deaths and cases and hospitalizations. You got kids getting sick. You just had one teacher that didn't want to mask up and got her whole class sick. They all tested positive for COVID. Now, how sick they'll get, we're going to find out. But from what I'm hearing, the children's ICU is starting to fill up, and basically you don't have enough ICUs beds for children. So all I'm saying is, you guys don't believe fat meat is greasy, but all I'm saying is, if you're gonna walk across that floor after that fat grease is down there, man, be careful. That's all I'm saying.